Stephanie, seasoned members of the ICANN non-commercial users constituency. Today they will talk about the NCUC and provide us an introduction about this group. So Aidan, we know that NCUC has been in ICANN for almost 20 years. That's a long history. Can you talk to us a little bit about the mission and role of NCUC in ICANN structure?
Yes, thanks for the question. The organization that we're a part of is the Non-Commercial Users Constituency. And the Non-Commercial Users Constituency is the only entity within the ICANN ecosystem that is specifically reserved for the advancement of non-state and non-market interests. We are a membership-driven organization with members from over 160 countries, both individuals and organizations, who are devoted to protecting non-commercial uses and users of the domain name system.
Thank you for that information. So to protect the interests of non-commercial users, and what are the issues in ICANN that NCUC has been focused on to advance this goal?
I think really from the beginning we've been focused on the protection of free expression and the rights of individuals to have domain names and their own presence on the internet, their own little real estate, so that they were free to express themselves. And that would include political dissidents, journalists, folks who are fighting for human rights. This is a very important usage of the internet for those folks. NCUC is really all about human rights, and I would include privacy rights. My own focus is particularly on data protection and privacy rights, and we've from the very beginning protested about, for instance, the Open Who Is that insists on putting name, address, and phone number out there. So these are the core values. Recently we've done a lot of work on trying to get human rights into the bylaws and to make sure that we do human rights impact assessments in all of our policy development. But we're about fundamental fairness and end users who are individuals and small groups, community groups. It's all about development, really.
Thank you, Stephanie. So there's a lot of issues that NCUC has been working on, and for someone who's interested in these issues, how do they become members of the NCUC? Can you give us an overview about your membership?
Sure. So we have an open membership. Provided that you are not employed within the domain name industry, you are most likely eligible to become a member of the NCUC. So you can see more information about our membership criteria on our website. But in terms of why you might want to join the NCUC, join if there is an issue that you care about, because within the NCUC you really can make a difference, and that can be very rewarding. So if there is an issue that you genuinely care about, you want to learn the language and process of policy, if you want to be effective in making a change, if you want to be working alongside the top experts in their field and to be mentored by them as well, the NCUC might be the right place for you if you care about advancing non-state and non-market interests at ICANN.
Thank you for that. And Stephanie, can you explain to me, so in ICANN there are other groups that also have end users, registrants, non-commercial users in their membership as well. So why someone should join NCUC?
Well, I think that there are different groups. There's ALAC, for instance, who they represent end users as well, but they also represent users that are commercial. We specialize in non-commercial, and our focus is, as I said earlier, primarily on human rights and various aspects of that. I think the different groups differ in their fundamental emphasis. A lot of us and a lot of internet governance scholars have come to NCUC as their home because we're fighting for the concept of the multi-stakeholder model as being inclusive, as respecting the Tunis agenda that came out of the World Summit for the Information Society, and that brings together a broad and diverse group of people for the development of the internet. You know, it's all about the information society. It's less about commerce. So I think we try to stick very closely to that, to the non-commercial, recognizing, of course, that the other players are all around us. But we feel it's very important that the multi-stakeholder model works in internet governance, and we're here to make sure that we contribute to that by exercising our rights, by participating on committees, by being active. So you asked Aiden, earlier, what does it take to join NCUC? We look for passion. We look for a commitment to actually do some work with us, because let's not kid ourselves, it's hard work. There's a lot to master at ICANN. It's a big, complex organization. There are a lot of issues. So you have to kind of know what you want. You can't just wander in off the street and say, oh, this looks interesting. Well, you can do that, but be ready for a steep learning curve. There's a lot to learn.
Thank you, Stephanie. So, Aiden, do you have additional suggestions for members who are newcomers in ICANN or newcomers in NCUC? How can they get involved in this group?
I think the number one tip that I would have is focus on something, specialize in one area. As Stephanie said, ICANN is very complex. It is very easy to be pulled this way, that way, or the other. So my suggestion would be, if you're new to this ecosystem, find one area that you genuinely care about and that you want to read and read and read up on. Once you've identified that, find someone else, find an ally within the community who you're able to speak to get some institutional knowledge, to be able to run your ideas past them. From there, you can be really, really effective in making a change within the ICANN community. If there's something you care about, if you're able to devote your time to being here, there really is a place for you here to make a difference.
Thank you very much, Aiden and Stephanie. Thank you for introducing us to NCUC and all the great information and suggestions that you have.
Thank you.